Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back to the second candle review of the day. I hope you are having a great afternoon. If you missed the very first candle review that went live kind of early on my channel this morning, I will go ahead and link that in the description box down below. Feel free to check that out after this video if you are so inclined. But in this video, we are going to be discussing 4 different fragrances from Above Love Candle Company, which is a new to me brand. And the way that I came across this brand is that the owner of the company actually reached out to me via email and asked if I might be interested in sharing my thoughts about their candles here on my channel. So I get a lot of these requests. Honestly, I get a lot of requests from a lot of different like Amazon sellers. Listen, I love Amazon. We have Amazon Prime. There's quite a bit that we order off of Amazon, but honestly, I am just not interested in a lot of these like different, like kind of more generic like Amazon brands. So typically a lot of these, you know, different emails that I get, I just end up deleting them. But I did not delete OG's email because OG's energy basically just like, oh my God, it came pouring through the computer screen. And I just really loved not only her energy, but her approach to how she runs her business. I am someone who has started a couple of different businesses myself. And I really admire others who put a lot of time and energy into their passions and basically like are creating a job for themselves, like with that like energy and passion, like as their main drive. And that was the thing that really kind of spoke to me when OG was, you know, first initially reaching out to me. I love that energy. I loved the approach to her business. And so I told her that I would be willing to review the candles here on my channel. I am going to be 100% honest about my experience. I've had a really great experience with 3 of these. One of them has been giving me some trouble. I think I might know what the problem is though, so I'll definitely follow up with OG as well. I know that she's big on feedback, which I definitely appreciate. I think a company who is willing to accept feedback about their product is like such an amazing thing, because then they can fix what's wrong, right? Like it won't happen again in the future. And that's always a good thing. Before we get into too much of this video, I usually love to talk a little bit more about, you know, like the companies and, you know, that kind of stuff. I gotta be honest with you guys, I've been trying to film just this video here for the last 40 minutes. And I am just trying to fit way too much information into this one video, and I'm really struggling with that because I don't want this to be too terribly long, but I also want to make sure that I'm giving you guys, you know, good information. So I think what I'm going to do with this video is, instead of talking about a lot of like the background of the company and things like that, how they do things, I'm going to direct you to their website. Listen, OG has created a wonderful website that is super, super informative. I will have that link down below. If you have any questions about how to order the candles, how you can reorder candles, how you can get larger sizes, yada, 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 check out the website. That is just going to give you a ton of information that, quite frankly, I just don't have time to put into the beginning of this video. I want to spend more time talking about each of these fragrances, the strength, the throw, the overall burn quality, because I know that that's probably what most of you guys are, you know, interested in most. So we're just going to kind of skip over a lot of, you know, like the initial information that I normally tend to do, just because I do think that OG's website is very well set up. I think it's easy to navigate, and any questions that you may have will be answered right on their website. So check that out. So let's dive in. We're going to dive in right away with the first review. I have finished these 2 candles here, so these are going to be completely finished reviews. The one that is burning in the middle is at the halfway point, and this one right here, my little troublemaker, is burned just about to the halfway point as well. So we're gonna go ahead and review each of these. We will talk strength and throw. I am definitely going to just be very upfront and tell you that these 6-ounce 1-wick candles, which have a 100% soy formulation, by the way, which I love, these do not scent the downstairs of my house. Not going to be sugarcoating that in any kind of way. The downstairs of my house is quite open concept. There are high ceilings. A 1-wick 6-ounce candle like this is not going to cut it in the downstairs. So I did initially test these out, you know, in the family room, in the kitchen, in the dining room. They really got lost. So I decided to go ahead and instead test these by burning them in the master bedroom. So I am going to be reviewing these from the standpoint of burning them in a room that has a normal like ceiling height, a room that is a little bit more enclosed, and yeah, so a little different from how I normally do this, but I just could not get these to work in the downstairs at all. And if you too have a very open concept style of home, but you need a larger format, reach out to OG. I believe that she can actually create a larger format for you. So just contact the company and let them know what you're looking for, and they should be able to help you. But without further ado, let's kick off the first review here with Candy Apple Craze. She is burning in the middle, so let's go ahead and dig in. These do retail for $12.50, and there is free shipping in the US. They do have flat rate international shipping as well if you are interested. And the fragrance notes in the Candy Apple Craze include candied red apples, fresh roasted peanuts, and gooey caramel. All right, let's discuss. I think that this definitely smells like a true like red candied apple with a caramel drizzle over top. For the life of me, now OG swears that there are roasted peanuts in here. Because in one of the first videos where I started sharing my initial thoughts, she was like, no, I promise you there are roasted peanuts in there. And I just thought like maybe there was like a pocket of peanuts that I hadn't hit yet in this candle or something. But I am now at the halfway point, and I have yet to smell peanuts in this fragrance. And you know what? It's actually okay with me because I like this fragrance as I'm currently smelling it. It smells like a really delicious candied apple with a caramel drizzle. I normally don't care for caramel all that much, but in this fragrance, it's okay because it's a hint of caramel. There is much more focus on that juicy apple note and that like candy coating that goes over top of a candied red apple. This is a sweet fragrance, but I don't consider this a cloying fragrance. It's a very enjoyable, like great fall transitional scent. This is in obviously some Halloween style packaging here, but I think this could be a really great fragrance for the month of September. If you're not quite ready for a lot of these like different spicy pumpkin scents, this would be a great fragrance to check out, to get you kind of warmed up for, you know, the pumpkin extravaganza that, you know, you might be a little bit more ready for once October rolls around. So great fragrance, delicious, love the scent. I'm just not smelling any peanuts. So if you're looking for peanuts, they're not in here, at least according to my nose. So strength and throw. Okay, we are reviewing this from the standpoint of my master bedroom. So the strength of this is a 5 in the master bedroom. So it's not a smack you in the face, but I think that that is more having to do with, again, the size of these candles. They are small, but I can absolutely smell the fragrance. I walk into the room and I'm immediately greeted with like the most pleasant, like red candied apple fragrance with that hint of caramel. It is definitely noticeable, but is it like a total powerhouse? No, it is not. The throw. So the way that it's kind of interesting. I feel like the way that I judge the throw in the downstairs really is different from how I judge it in the upstairs. The master bedroom obviously has a door into the room, and then it has a door into the master bedroom, into the master bathroom. And so I've kind of been, you know, just like walking out of the room, clearing my nose, and then like approaching the master bedroom to see if I can smell it wafting out of there. And I can. I can also smell it when I walk into the master bathroom as well. So it does seem to travel actually decently far from where I'm burning it on one of our dressers. So I don't know, the throw, I guess I would put at, since it does travel outside the area, probably about like a 6 or maybe like a 6.5. I can actually almost smell this one pretty well in the master closet as well. And the master bathroom in this house is quite large. So that is quite a distance for it to travel for me to smell it in the master closet as well. So pretty decent, I would say, throw. But the overall strength, this is not like going to be a super powerhouse or anything like that. So, but it is really pleasant. I love the fragrance. This is one of those scents that I would consider purchasing in like a larger format so that I could get a little bit more out of it, and so that I could also enjoy it in the downstairs of the house. Quite frankly, I don't really burn candles upstairs too terribly often. If I do, it has to be when Craig and I are up there. We sometimes like to sit in bed and watch TV. We do have a TV in our master bedroom, and sometimes it's just comfortable to lay in bed and watch movies and things like that. So I'll burn candles up there then, but I try not to leave candles burning unattended up there while I'm in the downstairs throughout the bulk of the day, if that makes sense. So anyway, I do think that I had a good experience with this one, but is it a crazy powerhouse? No, it's not. All right, the next fragrance that we are going to discuss is this smoked butterscotch. Now I have finished this one, so I'm gonna show you guys the inside. I'm just gonna kind of come into frame here. So as you can see, this candle is completely finished. I let it extinguish itself. That little burnt thing that you see at the bottom there are actually some of the sprinkles that I think kind of maybe got burnt before the wick extinguished the fragrance here. But I didn't smell anything like burning or anything like that. So I think they just kind of, the sugar maybe like caramelized and melted towards the bottom of the wick clip there, if that makes sense. Because these are like, I feel like they look like edible sprinkles. Not that I think you should go digging them out of the wax, but there was also glitter. You can see what you see on the side of the jar is actually the orange glitter that was sprinkled onto the top of the candle when I first received it. This one did come with a really pretty enameled maple leaf charm there. And this fragrance, you guys, this smoked butterscotch latte, oh my gosh. I love this scent. I think this should be OG's #1 fall scent going forward. It is so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the in-depth notes here. So hold on one second. Okay. So this fragrance has a note of creamy sweet butterscotch, cafe mocha, whipped cream, and a touch of fall hickory wood bonfire. All right, what did I smell in here? First of all, this smelled like the most delicious butterscotch latte ever. I actually like butterscotch a little bit more than I like caramel, and this butterscotch reminds me of the Werther's Originals, whose grandma or Oma always had the Werther's Originals in their purse. I know mine did. So it's kind of a neat, like, memory trigger type of fragrance for me. I think that's why I enjoy this one so much. It reminds me of both my American grandma Baddie, and it reminds me of my my German Oma. So anyway, love the fragrance, love that butterscotch note. The mocha note is delicious. You get that little hint of like the coffee mixed with like that bit of like cocoa. It is really, really well done. The whipped cream is delightful. You do get a vanilla cream that kind of runs throughout the entire fragrance. I will say that like hickory wood bonfire note does not really come across to my nose, so I didn't really smell that in here, but all of those other fragrance notes were definitely present. The strength and throw of this one was very similar to the Candy Apple Craze. Like, I found some really good consistency between these three fragrances here. So strength about like, you know, between like a 5 and a 6, definitely quite noticeable. And the throw was just about a 6 as well. So this fragrance here, I love it. It is absolutely delightful. And this would be my like top suggestion. If you're a gourmand lover, you should absolutely check this one out. Now, the next one, she's no slouch either. This is Oatmeal Pumpkin Pancakes. So let's take a look inside this one here. You can see we also have some sprinkles at the bottom that also looks like they may have gotten burnt on that wick clip there. What you're seeing on the sides of the jar is once again that orange glitter that has just adhered to the side with a little bit of the remainder of the soy wax there. So that's not soot, it's glitter. This one burned extremely well and extinguished itself. Let's go ahead and read through the fragrance notes here. Let me go ahead and pull this one up. Where did I see this one? Hold please. Man, you guys, I wish that I could explain to you how much I am struggling right now. Whoa, this one is currently listed on sale for $6.25. That's a good deal. I would say if you're interested in this one, it's on a really great sale. I didn't realize this one was on sale. But anyway, Oatmeal Pumpkin Pancakes. So here we have notes of oatmeal, pumpkin spice, whipped butter, and maple syrup. Okay. I was worried that this one was going to be kind of heavy on the maple syrup just based on cold sniff, but burning, it really kind of mellowed out. I definitely smell oatmeal in here. You definitely get those pumpkin pie spices. So you get the cinnamon, you get a little bit of nutmeg. I feel like there might be also like a touch of cardamom in here. It's a really lovely spice blend. It's not too aggressive. And I really like that. I feel like with a lot of these like fall spice type scents, sometimes companies can kind of go overboard with the pumpkin spice. This is done incredibly well. There is a butteriness to this one for sure. And like I said, you do smell a touch of maple, but none of the notes are overpowering any of the other ones. So I just think this one is really well blended. Strength and throw, exactly the same as the Butterscotch Latte and the Candy Apple Craze. So no complaints at all about the burn of this one. No complaints about the strength or the throw. I mean, other than, you know, like obviously, you know, these didn't really work out in the downstairs of my house, but that's okay. They are very small. I think this is something that is worth keeping in mind here. If you want a larger size, reach out to Above Love and they should be able to help you with that. But let's discuss. All right, guys, sorry about that little interruption there. Let's go ahead and continue on with Zombie Baddie. Okay, this one here. Listen, I am always going to be upfront about not only my opinions on the fragrances, but also the performance of candles, whether they are sent to me or whether I purchase them myself. And this one really kind of gave me a run for my money in terms of trying to get this one to burn properly. Let me show you guys what the issue is here. Do you see it? She's a tunneler. And I tried to correct this so many times. So on the first burn, I always make sure that a candle gets a full wax pool, right? And the first burn, she did get a full wax pool, but subsequent burns, I could not get this candle to pool out completely. And it was really frustrating because it just wanted to tunnel no matter what I did. So I started popping this underneath one of my, hold on, I'm tired of holding it like that. I started popping this under one of my candle lamps to even the wax out. then I would have to pour a little bit of that wax off because it would cover the wick, right? Like when you see this hole here, when this wax on the sides like melts into that hole in the middle, it's gonna drown that wick. So I left the wicks long and went ahead and, you know, melted everything, got the hole filled in, trimmed the wick ever so slightly after I poured out a little wax so that I had, you know, a good fresh wick essentially ready to go. And it would burn and burn and burn, like I'm talking like 3-4 hours. And it would just tunnel again, and it got to be really frustrating. So honestly, as much as I like this fragrance, I haven't burned it in a couple of weeks because I don't really want to keep like popping this under the lamp and, you know, kind of evening things out again. So I think at this point, I'm just gonna kind of call it with Zombie Baddie. It's really too bad because one, it does really glow in the dark, which is really neat. But I'm also wondering if that maybe is what is causing the candle to tunnel, because these three, 0 issues with tunneling. Pulled out like that, absolute perfection, no complaints at all. This one here, I just cannot get it to not tunnel. And like I said, the very first burn, I always make sure that all of my candles go edge to edge, full wax pool. And this one here, there's just something in the formulation that is not allowing it to fully pull out, which is kind of frustrating for sure. So I am still gonna go ahead and tell you guys about the fragrance notes in this one. I will be passing this feedback along to OG directly as well, just so that she has a heads up. And maybe if there's something that they can tweak in the formulation, or maybe this is just like a one-off problem with my fragrance, or this particular candle that she sent me here. I'll definitely update you guys on what OG says for sure. So stay tuned for the weekly home fragrance roundup this week, and I'll let you guys know what I hear back from OG with regard to this one and the burn issue that I was having. Okay, the fragrance notes: white peach, vanilla, amber, and lotus blossom. Okay, I really like this fragrance, which makes it even more of a bummer. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this into one of my candle crocks, to be perfectly honest, because I do think that I'll definitely enjoy it that way, but I wish that I could just finish burning it, because these two, like you guys saw, they extinguished themselves and they were a great burn, but Zombie Baddie is just having some struggles. All right, so what do you smell here? First of all, that lotus blossom is coming across as a really pretty powdery lotus note. There's an interesting powder component to this scent that I really wasn't expecting based on the fragrance notes, but that I have actually really come to enjoy. The peach is a really lovely, like ripe summer peach note. The vanilla just kind of helps to balance everything out. And the amber, I think, gives a touch of almost like perfuminess to this scent. I smell all of the fragrance notes. Nothing overpowers any of the other notes. These are just, all 4 of these fragrances are really well blended, like fragrance note wise, if that makes sense. They're super pleasant. They're super enjoyable. And this, it's kind of a heartbreak with respect to that, because I really do like the scent, but I just cannot get this one to burn properly. So strength and throw of this one, because of that tunneling, has been definitely less than these guys here, because as you can see, you're only going to smell, you know, the wax that is kind of melted in the middle there. So the strength of this one, I would put it more of like a 2. I could definitely smell it a lot better when I was standing next to it, but as soon as I got away from it, it really kind of like faded out. And then the throw, I mean, I would almost have to give that like a 0 on this one. I just didn't get much projection from it. So yeah, for what it's worth, I didn't have the best experience with Zombie Baddie, but I do really love the fragrance. I think this would actually kind of be a lovely springtime scent as well. It's a really beautiful scent. Like I said, OG and her team have an incredible sense of, you know, fragrance and coming up with different blends, but that particular one, I think, just needs a little bit, either a little bit of tweaking if this is like a problem across the board, or I just got a dud, which again can happen with any company. So for what it's worth, that was my experience with Zombie Baddie. All right, you guys, so overall, what are my thoughts? First of all, obviously, I love the scents. Like I said, great, wonderfully blended fragrances where all of the fragrance notes are very noticeable. They're all really nicely balanced, and they're just delicious. Strength and throw for the size, I think is actually adequate. I would not expect like these to fill the downstairs of my house. Like, I don't know. I think you have to be realistic. And as soon as I saw these, I was like, probably gonna have to burn these upstairs. And I was right. Good burn experience upstairs in a more enclosed, less open concept style area. They did well up there. Burn issues, none with the first three, obviously burn issue with the last one. But I'm really glad that I got to try these, and I really think they're a company worth checking out. And I have said this to OG as well. I've kind of been chatting with her back and forth a little bit, and I really hope that she continues to keep going with this. I think this woman has a lot of potential to really grow this company and to turn it into something really interesting and unique, especially with their approach of how they pour the candles and how you can get things even if they might be out of season or not currently available on the website. Again, check out their About Us section on their website to read up a little bit more about that. But yeah, overall, I think this is a great candle company. I love what OG's doing here. I think it has a lot of potential. And quite frankly, I look forward to trying more from them and seeing, what other fragrances they have developed. So definitely a thumbs up for me, worth checking out. And remember, if you are having problems with any of your candles, reach out to them. They have a guarantee for their products. So if you're having an issue, definitely reach directly out to the company and they should be able to help you. So anyway, guys, I feel like this video ended up being long, even though I didn't want it to be. So I'm going to cut myself off here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. There will still be one more candle review that goes live a little bit later on today, so stay tuned for that. But again, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, give this video a big fat thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.